What's going on? It is your boy BlizzRix, and originally I wanted to talk about weapons, but I have something I want to talk about even more. Now, you notice how over time we kept getting like light increases over time. Remember when 34 was the highest light, and then it went over that, and then now look at us. Where some people are like at 1080 and stuff like that. Like, you start to think, do we really need light levels or power levels? Because I know one thing like this: when playing normal Crucible, everything feels right. If you're better than someone, then you're simply better than someone. Can't say the same thing about Iron Banner. Iron Banner is supposed to be where the best players, quote, I use that in quotes, are supposed to be. That in Trials. And I believe that, I could be wrong, light level is enabled in both of those. You get the light advantages, I think. I know that's the thing for Iron Banner. I don't know if it's the same for Trials. But my thing is this: if we're supposed to have a competitive setting in PvP, should light even matter? And then you start to think about this, where for most of the, I would say the endgame activities that we tend to do over and over again, we're well above the light level for that. Like all the raids now, like all those 900 raids and things like that, we're well over the power level for that. So it's like, you start to think, do we really need this stuff? Should that be something used in a PvP setting? I'm gonna go out the window and say no. In fact, I think it kind of ruins it. I think light enabled things kind of ruin PvP. Like, yeah, cool, you get the advantage over another person, but it's really only because of your light level. And that's determined by how often you play the game, your access to the game, well, your access to content in the game. And, that's the thing that puts you at a disadvantage against someone who has the stuff, rather than how good you are at the game. Because at the end of the day, it has nothing to do with how good you are. I know this. This is from experience when playing in the Iron Banner. When someone's a higher light than me, and I'm trying to kill them, it takes a little longer for my bullets to kill them. And I'll hit them with 90% of everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, it usually is what? Maybe about 4 shots, usually 4 or 5 shots that be killing people. It'll take like 10, or feels like 10. It just takes forever, and then they'll just mow you down. Like, they'll use the same weapon and everything, just mow you down. It's like, okay, I feel cheated. And you going around and seeing them like kill you, they'll slap somebody, just one-hit melee. I don't get how people pulling off this one-hit melee thing. I have yet to get a one-hit melee with anything. And I see hunters pulling off the one-hit melee. I still don't know how they're doing it. And no, they're not using the uppercut, because I never see anyone use the uppercut. So I don't know what anyone's doing to get these one-hit kills, because I had a full health bar and just died. So whatever. But yeah, light advantages, it doesn't really make too much sense. That's why normal Crucible just works a lot better. It's a lot more enjoyable. You don't have to worry about having a whole bunch of people party up on you, because you have the equal chance to actually kill them all, versus in Iron Banner, where you might get steamrolled by people who are partied up together if their light is higher than yours. That's just the reality of it. I think light level, if it were to matter, it should only matter in the PvE setting when you're doing endgame content. I would I would loosely include story mode content because that's the stuff where you're pretty much building off of, you know? You're like your character is building in there. So I mean, I guess it would matter loosely over time, but you know, things like Nightfalls and the harder difficulty Nightfalls, yeah. And Raids. Maybe Raids. I don't know. I don't think Raids should be... I have mixed feelings about Raids because Raids aren't all that difficult, but the fact that there are some minor complexities in the Raids will definitely turn people off doing the Raids, which is why not many people actually do the Raids. And that's just the reality of that too. I feel like they waste their resources on even making Raids when you will always, wherever forum you go to, whether it's a YouTube comment or a Facebook group or a Reddit post, there's always going to be a handful of people in there that say, I can never find anybody to do Raids with. Now, this might actually be a video all its own, and I might go into even bigger details with Raids on the next video. But I just wanted to touch up on that just a little bit. Like, there is a handful of people that say they have no access to Raids because they don't have anybody doing with. And then people will just blindly say, oh, use LFGs and join a clan and things like that. But there are bigger issues with that altogether. And like I said, I'll get into that in like the next video. And if anybody wants to tell me how I didn't kill this guy, but he killed me, feel free to let me know, because that made zero sense. You know, like, cool, man. Like, I'm using a super, he's using a super, I hit first and I just die in one shot, but he doesn't die in one shot. Yeah. I just want to know why does the developers hate hunters so much? Oh, that is why I use the tether most of the time, because that just gets everybody out of the paint. But that's neither here nor there. So yeah, light level, end game content only. Outside of PvP, because having it in PvP makes absolutely no sense. If you're gonna do this whole similar skill thing, then cool. Similar skill, but don't have light level enabled, because people who are a similar skill to me are higher light than me. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. And as the game ends, we get smoked, and look at this, I do all I can do for my team. Whatever, I'm out. Peace.